going to be posting videos about how to play goalie in ESHL in NHL 15 on the PS3. There's not a lot of information out there, so I thought it'd be a good idea to post my opinions and try and help everybody out. I'm certainly not an expert, but I've been playing goalie for a couple of years in 13, 14, and 15, and I don't have any real-life experience. The most I have is watching YouTube videos on how to play real-life goalie, which has actually helped. I suggest you guys do it. But this isn't real hockey, and it doesn't play like real hockey. It plays like video game hockey. We all know that. So I've experimented with some builds and play styles, and experimented with the different attributes. So I'm going to let you know my thoughts on those. I'd just like to apologize for the cell phone recording. I don't have a capture card right now, but if my channel takes off, I will be getting better quality stuff. So let's get on with my build. Alright, so height. Height affects your movement speed in the crease as well as in free skate. The taller you are, the slower you'll be, just by a little bit. My testing that I've done is shown that it's just a very slight difference. Your speed stat is what makes the difference. It affects a little bit of your reaction time to the puck when you're making a save, so taller, once again, you'll be a bit slower. It also affects your net coverage. This is big. Longer limbs means you'll be able to cover more of the net. You'll be able to reach pucks at 6'6" that you wouldn't be able to reach as if you were 5'8". Also, if you're taller, you seem to get beat higher less often depending on how deep you are in your crease. The taller you are, you're not necessarily going to get beat up top if you're further back in your crease. But if you're shorter, then you have to play further out to stop those high shots. So on to our weight. This affects nothing for me. Maybe it affects your skating speed out of the net, but I haven't noticed a huge difference. I change it according to my play style because I think it's a mental thing. So if I'm playing a taller build where I'm not going to move a lot, I'll jack my weight up to around 200, 220 pounds. But if I'm playing a smaller build where I want to be able to be quicker, I put it down to 185. But I don't actually think it has an effect. I think it's just, like I said, a mental thing. Alright, so on to play style. The different styles are stand-up, hybrid, and butterfly. In stand-up, you'll be quicker moving on your skates when you're standing up and not holding L2. When you do hold L2, you'll be slower to get down into the butterfly, and when you let go, you'll be slower to get up. You'll also get beat down low more often, and you'll also give up those juicy rebounds off the pads on low shots. So on to butterfly, you'll be quicker moving around in the butterfly when you're holding L2. You'll also be better at making saves when you're down in the butterfly. You'll be slower moving around when you're standing up on your skates, but you'll be able to make those stop those shots down low a lot easier. You have good rebound control, but you sacrifice getting beat up top more often. So hybrid, it's a mixture of both stand-up and butterfly, and it's average movement speed, average speed in the butterfly and standing up, and average speed getting down into butterfly, holding L2 and releasing it. It's what I use right now because I have the attributes for it, and I think it's the best way to go if you're going to be playing a real goaltender style. Okay, so there's one play style I want to talk about, and that is the 6'9" butterfly goalie. The reason I want to talk about it is because it's kind of cheap, but at the same time, playing goalie in this game is pretty hard, so being cheap isn't necessarily bad. It's not playing real goalie, but once again, this isn't real hockey, so it doesn't really matter. I used this build when I was first starting out, and it really helped me build up my stats and get to Legend 1. So the way I play it is I sit in butterfly and I stay near the back of my crease. I anticipate left or right with the right stick, depending on where I think the shot's going to go, and I keep the movements in my crease minimal. I'll hold L2 and L1 to make sure I don't slide all over the place, and for the most part I just shade close to the post. I don't go much further past that. When the shot's taken, you just let the computer make the save for you. You'll still get beat sometimes. I mean, if you're not standing up and someone takes a shot in the high slot in the top corner, then you'll get beat. You have to stand up to still save those shots, but for the most part, if you sit in your butterfly, you'll stop everything low and all the cross creases. I averaged probably an 850 save percentage. I got 900 and something save percentage numerous games in a row. You'll see here I get beat by the computer a little bit. That's because the computer has that little aimbot thing. It can find all the holes that the human players don't necessarily see. That's something you need to keep in mind because you're not always going to be playing 6-on-6, right? So the other thing too is human players will be able to read you. Good human players will be able to read that you're not standing up, and they'll start taking shots from the corners, and they'll start taking high shots from the slot. So there are some minor adjustments. But for the most part, you'll see in these clips that you're going to stop some ridiculous shots that you have no business saving normally. But once again, I just want to clarify that this isn't real goalie. Moving on to my attributes, we'll go into the hockey shop here first. As you can see, I'm a 76 overall hybrid goalie at Legend 1. In the hockey shop here, I've got some boosts unlocked. I don't have all the boost slots yet. I did spend $20 to $30 on some +7s and some boost slots, as well as a stand-up boost pack. I'm starting to regret spending that money on the boost slots and boosts, but the boost pack did help me quite a bit in the early stages. The stand-up boost pack, I put it on my butterfly goalie, and that makes you 75 overall, and the attributes are spread out all over the place. It's a good balanced build, but you don't necessarily need some of the stats, but I'll go over that in a second here. On the boost pack, you can't add attributes to it, so even though the current level says 80 and you dump 90 points into that one category, it still stays at 80 regardless of what you do. So it's a good start for a rookie to help build your numbers up, get your wins up. But once you get to a certain point where you're unlocking boosts, you're going to want to use those instead because you'll be able to get much higher than what the boost pack offers you. So I'm not really going to go over my different boosts because all you have to do is put the boosts I unlock in the most important categories. It's not really necessary. So we'll move on to my stats. Angles. I honestly don't believe this does anything. However, there's some controversy surrounding it. Some people will say that it does do something for them, but I think it's only a computer attribute. I think for the people who say it helps them, I think it's just a mental thing. Because I've tested it in another mode where you can edit the actual NHL goalies in the game, and I've taken away their angles, and I've played a game, and then I've put it back on, and I didn't really notice a whole lot of difference. I've also tested it on my own online Be a Pro, and I didn't do anything different for me, so I don't think angles is something you need. Breakaway. This affects the goalie's movement on game-defined breakaways. If it's low and someone's coming in on a breakaway, low meaning 65 overall, you'll start to slide all over the place when you move the stick around, so even a minor movement makes you go further than normal than if they weren't in on a breakaway. So if you put it up higher, your goalie gets more under control, and you can make minor movements without going to the other side of the net. When I was testing this, I noticed it helped me make the save a little better too. When it was at 65, I would let breakaway goals in all the time, even if I was in position, but when it was higher, my goalie was more apt to make the save. Another thing I noticed, I'm not sure how accurate this is, but when my breakaway stat was up higher, it was actually harder to move out of position. So if I got fooled on a move, my guy would be more attracted to the puck, and it wouldn't let me go that way as much. I need to test this a little more, but I'm 90% sure that's what was happening. So I don't think it's very important, though, because breakaways aren't your fault as a goalie. The other glove high, stick high, glove low, stick low, and 5-hole are more important. But this is something nice to have if you have some extra points. 5-hole. This only applies to your goalie when you're standing up and the puck is shot between your pads. When you're in L2 in the butterfly, the stat has less of an effect because when you move around in the butterfly, your legs will open up your 5-hole, and regardless of the stat, you'll still get beat there. So this is a good stat to have if you're playing stand-up, or if you find that your goalie is getting beat 5-hole from perimeter shots or even shots in the slot. So if you have some points lying around, I would put them into 5-hole after the other glove and stick categories. Glove and stick high are the ability of your goalie to reach for pucks on high shots. This is the most important stat in this category, I believe. These two stats, sorry. Majority of shots players take are going to be high. Everyone tries to glitch goalie human goalies, even though it's not supposed to work. And if this attribute isn't high enough, you're going to get beat up top a lot. So max it out. Get it as high as you can if you're at lower levels. This should be your main focus until you reach a higher level. Glove and stick low are the ability for your goalie to make saves on low shots. I keep these even and lower than stick and glove high since I don't have the experience points to max these out yet, but I will once I get the boosts and the experience points for it. They're important. You'll be able to reach those lower shots when you're a little bit out of position better. So if you get the experience points, make sure this is your second focus. So on to rebound control. This is your ability of your goalie to control the rebound off of the shot. When you make a save, your goalie is going to try and keep the puck as close as possible to him. Or if that's not possible, if it's off your pad, your goalie is going to try and deflect the puck into the corner so that it doesn't give the other team a good opportunity. For the most part, when you raise the stat up, you're not going to give up a big juicy rebound right to the guy's stick. So I think it's way more important than shot recovery. In those 2-on-1s when the guy with the puck shoots it low off your pads and goes right to the next guy for an easy goal. Well, if your rebound control is high, your goalie's either going to corral the puck and cover it, or he's going to kick it away from that second guy into the corner. So make sure this is your main focus in this section. The next one is shot recovery, and this is how quick your goalie is able to get back into a set position after making a save. This allows him to be able to make another save just as quick. So a shot's taken on you, and your goalie makes a big toe save or is sitting on his ass or lying on his back. The shot recovery will allow your goalie to get up quicker and make another save right away. Shot recovery is important, but not as important as rebound control. If you have good rebound control, there's not going to be a second shot, right? So get rebound control up first, then worry about shot recovery. I'll eventually max it out, but for now I leave it lower than rebound control. Next is poke check. I think this only affects the computer goalie. At the same time, maybe it affects the speed or effectiveness of your poke check as a human goalie, or maybe even the recovery from that poke check animation. I haven't tested it. I don't plan on testing it. I will if you guys want, but it's not important because we don't really poke check a lot. The way the camera angles are and your reaction times in the game is you're not going to be able to poke check that cross crease pass or a guy coming in too close to you. It's kind of just hard in general. I mean, maybe if you use it, try it out, but I don't, and it does not affect your desperation poke, so I don't even worry about it. The next stat is passing, and it's how much power you have when you pass the puck as a goalie. Regular pass, it will be quicker and harder just along the ice, and when you go get the puck and you want to dump it up, holding R1 and up, it will go further the higher the stat is. Once again, it's not as important as the other two attributes, but if you have some experience points left over, feel free to put them in here. I try not to play the puck, so I don't even see this as a priority. Aggressiveness, I've heard this only affects the computer as well. I'm testing it out right now to see if it helps me moving around in my crease. I really don't think it does. With the computer, it will make the computer goalie play further out and challenge the shot at the point and cut down the angles on the breakaways, but you control that as a human, so I don't think this has an effect on you. I've got 70 on it right now. I'm not noticing a huge difference, so I wouldn't worry about this one. So the biggest two categories in this section are agility and vision. Agility affects how fast your goalie moves and turns. That's according to that one EA post back from whatever year it was, but it's true. Right now I have it higher, and I like it. When I was playing my 6'9" goalie, I had it at 75 to 80 because I didn't move. If you're going to play a style where you're going to move around a lot, you're going to want agility. But if you're going to play that one build where you just kind of sit there, you don't need it. It doesn't make a huge difference. But if, like I said, if you're going to play real goalie, max it out. Vision. Vision is the most important attribute in this section. It affects your goalie's ability to track and see the puck. And since we don't make manual saves anymore, we rely on the computer to do that for us. We want our vision as high as we can get it, because the higher it is, the more ability the computer has to track the puck into your glove. Or if you're screened, he's going to be able to pick up the puck easier and make the save. So put all your experience points into this. If you want to balance it out with agility, you can, but I suggest making this as high as you can get it, especially early on. I think the third most important attribute in this category is speed. It's not as important as the other ones, but it controls how fast your goalie can free skate when you're holding X. And I also believe it controls how fast you are moving back and forth, like just up and down in your crease. I have it at 75 right now, and I never put anything on it, but I really like the way my goalie moves. I think it may be, it may have something to do with that I'm a hybrid goalie as well, and I can move easier on my skates. But if you guys have an opinion on that, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear it. But I put my leftover experience points into speed as well. The last two attribute categories are durability and endurance, and these only affect computer goalies or offline be a pro. I wouldn't worry about them. Offline be a pro, you can get hurt and you'll get tired throughout the game the more shots you face, but in online be a pro or ESHL and in club, you don't get affected by these, so don't worry about them. One of the last things I want to talk about here is auto cover and auto sweep in your controller settings. This is the same place where you turn on and off your auto back skate and your left stick hitting. For goalies, some people like auto cover and some people don't. What this does is if the puck's sitting in front of you, the computer will automatically do the cover the puck animation. The reason people don't like it is because sometimes it does it at the wrong time and the puck slips out and they get an easy goal. I leave it on and I let the computer do this for me, but I never hit triangle by myself. So if the puck's sitting in front of me, I just sit in my butterfly and wait for the computer to take over. With auto sweep, it's the animation when you get down the butterfly or you're standing up and your goalie kind of just, when the puck's sliding at him, kind of just sweeps the stick and brushes it behind the net. I leave this on. I like this. This has saved me more goals than it's let me let in. Sometimes there'll be those close plays where the puck's sliding towards you slowly and your defender gets beat. and I'm just kind of sitting there, hanging out to dry, and my goalie all of a sudden sweeps it behind the net, and the guy can't get the puck. So I definitely leave that on if I were you, but once again, it's just personal preference. All right, I'm going to wrap things up here. I've yet to find a build I'm completely happy with, but I'm getting close. The 6'9" build is what I've had my most success with, and I hate to say that, but it's true. Throughout the series, I'm going to be working on playing the pure goalie form, so I won't bring that other build back unless I absolutely have to, and I'm getting wrecked. I think regular goalie works better for club, but I haven't been able to play a lot of club lately, so I haven't been able to test that out. Next episode, I'll be talking about goalie positioning. That's the most important part of being a goalie. It's more important than the attributes I just talked about. So make sure you guys check that out. At the end of every episode, I'm going to try and end with some highlights from when I play to some music that I like. Feel free to stick around for that. And if you like the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you're interested in learning more about being a goalie, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, guys.
The defending player was trying to go for the puck on this breakaway opportunity, but clearly was not getting the puck. Oh, great save there. Proved to work, and he got a good shot of it. It's right ahead. Get on the ball. Big pass save. Go, look out here.